Greetings! You're watching Septum Sin versus the World. I'm Septum Sin. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about something different. We've been on sort of a B-movie kick lately, so I said to myself, let's freshen it up a little bit. So I looked through my Criterion drawer, and of course, I came up with something that is refreshing, something that is nowhere near new, but something that is very well put together. Of course, I am speaking of Safety Last. This is one of Harold Lloyd's most famous silent films. Back in the day, we had early films that had no sound. So we played music in the background, put up word cards, and relied mainly on the visual. And this is one of those major ones. The Criterion Collection has brought us some of Harold Lloyd's work, and this is probably some of his best work. Done in the 1920s, 1923 to be exact, this actually follows the story of a young man set out to make his fortune in the world so that he can come back, buy a house, get married to his wife, and have a family. Or married to his girlfriend, I guess. They wouldn't be married if... let's move on. So, what we have here is a nice comedic masterpiece with great timing and good cinematics. Because Mr. Lloyd's character, he's the hero, but he's not doing as well as he has told her that he is. So then he has to impress upon her at the end, after pressure is put on, he finds a way to make it work, which leads to him climbing this building and hanging off of the clock right here, as we see at the main still here. So, what else is on this particular thing? We've got three actual shorts that do accompany this. One from 1918, Take a Chance. One from 1919, which is Mr. Jazz. And then one from 1920, His Royal Shyness. I love these Criterion ones, especially because I've watched a lot of the Chaplin ones, and you get to see a lot of those early shorts. And back then, that's what they did. They did a lot of short films. There weren't a lot of these huge feature films out there. And you got to see tons of these comedy shorts. So, let's go into what's good about this. I mean, let's first start with basic stuff, which is the background music. I mean, these particular types, it's good that you have some of the original background music to go with. A lot of these you lose it with. Nosferatu is one of those. We really don't know what it would have sounded like when they showed it the first time. But with this, you get a good idea as to what it was they were listening to. It's sort of where that ragtime music started to become more jazzy type music. It's actually really kind of cool to listen to. It's annoying to some, but to me, I really do love that. I love ragtime. I've always loved the sound of ragtime, how smooth it is, and how it eventually did become other art forms like jazz and other types of music. Just that evolution, and you can see it here. Mr. Jazz, a good example of where that soundtrack really evolves and how it plays that point there. The story is not a new one, but actually it may be for the time period, and I really do enjoy the physical comedy of this film. You can see it. I mean, there's a scene where they're trying to avoid the landlady, and this is just an example. The rest, I'd rather you see it because it's spoiling it otherwise. But the landlady's coming to collect the rent, so he and his roommate, they basically hold on to the coat hangers and hide underneath the coats on the wall. And to me, that just had me cracking up as I was watching this. I really did enjoy that. And there's lots of rich humor taking place throughout this entire film. I've frankly thought this one of the more enjoyable silent films that I watch. I usually get bored. But comedies like this, they don't bore me nearly as much. I'm the kind of guy who has to have all my senses engaged. But with the soundtrack, with the action, it really does shine. The picture quality is really good. Criterion does an excellent job of cleaning up its stuff. And as far as the DVD itself, it has lots and lots of special features, so you can really enjoy things to your heart's content. I definitely recommend that if you get this version here, that you listen to the commentary, especially on the short films. It gives you a lot of insight. I love looking at these films. It gives you a window into a time that we just can't access anymore. Many of these buildings are gone. The way of life is just so different now. I mean, California is just totally different. So, very much worth seeing. I mean, bad points, I mean, any silent film, you're going to have slowness. You're going to have slowdown. And that's unfortunate, but it just happens like that. Other parts, I mean, there are things that frustrate me a little bit. I mean, I was a little bit frustrated when they start putting on the pressure, which leads to him actually climbing the building. But I think that's really just a personal thing for me. I can't really harp on that. Really, the biggest negative is it's a silent film, and for many, that's really hard to get into. So with that being said, I do encourage you to check this out if you're able to. I would give this probably an 8 out of 10. Very well done, very well executed, and with these types of films, comedic timing is everything, and his comedic timing is right there. It's definitely right up on that. So with that being said, I thank you all for listening. So if you would please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, comments are welcome. I will answer them as soon as I get them. And I will see you on the next one.